Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast with Phil Graham. We help you master Facebook ads and give you an unfair advantage over your competition. Are you ready? Let's go.
Hey, podcast family. Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast, episode 350. I'm Phil Graham. Today, I'm going to be sharing my top 3 Facebook ad trends and tips for 2024. So here's the thing. There's going to be a lot of different trends and tips that happen throughout the year when it comes to advertising. And some of them are going to be good, but a lot of them are going to suck. A lot of them are going to be bad. And so today I want to share 3 that I think will be really good and really strong and really something that could give you an edge. Certainly it's part of our secret sauce. And much of what we're going to talk about today is going to kind of go against the grain of what the masses are doing. But you know what? That's a really good thing. There's a quote from a long time ago: the masses of men and women lead lives of quiet desperation. You really don't want to follow the masses in very many things. You want to go the opposite direction because usually the masses fail. So in this episode, I'm going to be talking a little bit about kind of my prediction on these trends of what successful advertisers will do this year, what I think people are going to be doing who are successful, what we're going to be focusing on, and time will tell if I'm right, but I've certainly got a great track record on this kind of stuff. And these are things that we're definitely going to be doing throughout the year. The key thing is you want to really focus on, you want to zig while other people zag. You want to be different. You've got to stand out. And so today, again, I'll be giving you some really important tips that could make all the difference for some of you guys. So I'm excited for that. Thank you for being here. And yeah, at the beginning, I said episode 350. Let that sink in. That is a lot of episodes every single week for like over 7 years. I think we're going on like 7.5 years, something like that. It's crazy. So I'm super glad that you guys are here. Now, before we jump in, if you guys are looking for any one-on-one coaching to really learn ads and marketing the right way, or if you're looking for somebody to run your ads for you, for either one of those things, you can just go to my website, philgrahamdigital.com, or you can DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital. And I would love to connect with you. And then lastly, I do have a Facebook group. I'm going to be making a commitment to be in there more this year. I've had it for a lot of years, but I just don't have time to be in there because I have so many clients and got to put clients first. But within the next few weeks or month or so, I'm going to start spending more time in there, and I would love to connect with you guys when I do. I'll drop the group URL in here again when that time comes. Okay, before we jump into the actual content, I've got a couple things. Number one, I've got an episode coming up. I haven't recorded it yet because I record these in real time, usually like the day before they go out. So you're always getting relevant, up-to-date info, so that's good. But I wanted to give you a heads up. I'm going to be doing an episode about how I would spend a small amount of money, like $20 a day, something like that, on Facebook ads at this point of the year in early 2024. So that's coming up. That might be next week, or if not, it's going to be in the next couple weeks. I also wanted to give you guys a quick, actually 2 quick PSAs, public service announcements. The first one is about Facebook reps. Okay, this is not about any specific rep, and there's certainly exceptions and there's some good ones, but there's a lot of reps that don't really know what they're doing. They might know, let's say, the rules of the game, but they're not skilled at playing the game and they don't really know strategy. I was working with a client today and their rep literally had no idea what they're doing. So when I went in there and took a look, their rep had them create an ad with no ad copy. There was no headline. There was no copy. They didn't even have a pixel. No pixel, no copy. They had a horrible ad objective that did not match their goals at all, which was actually super expensive, which drove up their cost per click. They had a video ad with no good thumbnail. They didn't have any captions on the video. They made almost every mistake in the book, and this was coming from a Facebook rep that was helping them. So you got to be careful. Obviously, not all reps are bad, but what I've found is a rep is really good to either help you get out of a jam if like your account gets disabled or something like that. But I definitely would not recommend them for strategy or tactics. So be very careful. My second PSA is that there's a ton of spam going around these days in both Messenger and email that looks like it's coming from Facebook. And they're trying to fish, they're trying to get into your account. They're trying to get you to click links that will compromise your account that could really get you shut down. There's a lot of crazy stuff. So be very careful. I would never click on a link that's inside an email or even inside a Facebook message. If you ever have a question or a doubt about whether there's an issue with your account, log into Facebook. You should see something there. Do not click on links from emails. Okay, now I want to jump in and really talk about the 3 trends and tips I have for you guys for 2024. Number 1, I predict that writing your own ad copy will work way better than using AI for ad copy. Now, this is coming from somebody that loves AI. I'm a huge fan of ChatGPT and AI in general. In fact, I have a bunch of stuff coming for you guys about AI. I mean, I freaking love it. However, I love competing against people that are using AI to write their ad copy. So that should tell you something. You know, I've seen human, well-written ad copy dominate AI ad copy so much it's crazy. And obviously, I'm sure there's some exceptions here and there, but I've seen the human written copy work so well so often that I don't recommend people just use AI to write their copy. And I think humans writing the copy who are good at it can outperform those who are not. Now, I actually saw a study the other day. I don't know if it's true. I didn't have time to really dig into it. So don't quote me on this. I'm not stating this as a fact, but I did read about a study that said something like of the top, I can't remember how many it surveyed, but on like 50 of the biggest industries, it looked at the content on page 1 of Google rankings. And there was something crazy like 92 or 94% of that was written by humans versus AI. So the stuff that was written by humans is being more effective at ranking well in Google. And obviously that's different than ads, but it still goes to show you that it's so much more effective in many different ways. Now, again, I don't know if that's true. I didn't get a chance to really confirm that, but I will say that with ads, like I said, I've seen human written copy work a lot better. Now, let me be clear. I am not an AI hater. In fact, I freaking love AI, like I just said a couple minutes ago. But you got to use it the right way. Use it for research, use it for ideas, use it for framework, and then combine that with your skill to write ad copy. You can use some of what it gives you, but then you use what you know to create something amazing out of that. And when you combine that, when you combine your skill with what AI gives you, that's where you rise above all the other crap that's out there. So use AI and let it serve you, but don't let it hurt you. So I recommend definitely using it for certain things, but in the right way. I also recommend you get really good at writing your own ad copy because that's a huge skill to have. And that's always going to benefit you. But also, one other thing I wanted to mention, success in ads, having ad copy that's good is only a very small part of that success. So you also need to realize that being a successful business and running ads well is way more than just copy. There's a lot more moving pieces to it, including strategy and many other things. So don't take your eye off the ball and think, oh, you just need good ad copy and you're good to go. There's a lot more than that. So make sure you guys focus on learning that stuff, which is part of the, good reason why you're listening to this podcast, because I try and teach as much as I can in the short amount of time about different success things that you need to know when it comes to marketing. So I really would focus on my formulas that I recommend when you're writing ad copy. Start with a hook, have a story, make an offer, and also educate and entertain and differentiate with your copy. And if you do those things and you do them well, you give yourself a really good chance to succeed versus other people who don't do those types of things. All right, trend and tip number 2 for 2024, creating segmented audiences with Facebook and Instagram ads, I believe will be very, very powerful this year. You always want to test those against large, broad audiences. In fact, many times, not always, but I've seen many situations where our segmented audiences that we're testing are working and performing better than AI audiences and better than Advantage Plus audiences. Don't get me wrong, I love Advantage Plus audiences too. And sometimes they do work better. But when our segmented audiences outperform, sometimes it's crazy. Sometimes they dominate. And so there's going to be a lot of people, and this is another one where it's going against the grain. I see people all the time saying, oh, don't worry about your targeting. Just do huge, broad targeting and let Facebook worry about the rest. I disagree 1000%. Yes, you can do that with some of your ad money, but use at least half, if not more, of your ad money on actually creating your own segmented audiences, because those might be your biggest winners. You don't know until you test. We've had enough winners with segmented audiences that I would absolutely be testing those, as well as lookalikes and other things like that. And that's the great news here. You don't have to pick one or the other. You don't have to just do large audiences or segmented. You could do both and then use that data to tell you what's going to work best. But I will say that our segmented audiences many times work extremely well. And I think people that are relying on just AI or Advantage Plus audiences are going to be hurting compared to those that do both. And I think you give yourself a huge edge by doing segmented audiences and other ads that have Advantage Plus audiences. One quick note on your segments, though, don't make the mistake of having too many choices in a segmented audience. For example, if you have an interest audience, I don't recommend having 20 or 30 different interests in there, because no matter what, you're not going to know why it didn't work or why it did work. There's too many variables. But if you just have 2 or 3 or 4 and something's doing something either really bad or really good, you can further test that out pretty quickly and identify and either get rid of what's not good or figure out what was really good and then scale the heck out of it. And that can benefit you. So be careful to test in the right way and not have too many segments in one audience. But you want to test lots of different segments. Just have a couple in each one. And that's a great way to test. And then last, number 3, I highly believe a huge trend that will really continue from 2023 and previous into this year, into 2024. And I think it'll be even more important, is the trend and the tip of leveraging data. I think it's going to be even more important when running ads. I think it's going to have more success that it causes people, or failure or success, depending on whether they do this or not. You really want to make a goal to learn something from every single ad you run as much as possible. If something does not work, why didn't it work? Was it the audience? Was it the offer? Was it the creative? Was it the objective? Was it the landing page? If you don't know, then you're in no man's land or no woman's land, because how can you get good at this stuff? If you can figure out why something didn't work, you can change it and you can fix it. And then also, if you can figure out why something did work, guess what? You're in a much better position to scale it, and scale it much more effectively. So you got to learn something from every ad you run, and you learn that by effectively using data. And then guess what? You make smart decisions that are based off of data, not emotions. Too many people are making decisions based off their emotions, especially when they're spending money. And that can be very costly. So I highly recommend you guys commit to leveraging data and getting really good at it. It's one of the things I love teaching clients, my coaching clients, and something that I do myself with ads that we run for other clients. But get really good at this stuff. In a few weeks, I'm going to have an episode all about our dashboard that we use. I'm even going to share that dashboard with you. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that, because that'll have some really good stuff on data as well. So my friends, these three things I think are extremely important for 2024. I hope you guys put them into action. Episode 350 is in the books. I've got a lot of great stuff ahead. I will talk to you guys on next week's episode. Have a great week. If you guys want to connect, philgrahamdigital.com is the website, or DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital. Talk to you next week. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast. Please remember to subscribe and share this with all your friends. For show notes, more tips, and to learn more about Phil, please visit philgrahamdigital.com/podcast.